Okay, great. We're recording now. So can I get a confirmation from everyone that we can use this video publicly with a thumbs up or a verbal confirmation? Thumbs up, great.
Yes.
Yes, from Katie. Isa too, I didn't see. Did you put a thumbs up as well? Okay, great. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for that. Exciting times. Oh my goodness. This is I have to tell you today, my head has been like spinning a bit, but in a good way, I guess. I don't know, what time did I wake up? Like at 3:30 in the morning. Somehow I had snoozed through my alarms because I went to bed at like 10:30 and I was going to get up at 12:30 to start to work again, just to do, all the stuff we had to get done. And but somehow I snoozed and then my phone stopped buzzing, whatever. Like at 3:30 I woke up and I was like, miracle that I woke up, and I'm like, okay, get to work. And you guys, I know a lot of you have been really working on this, so I really let's take a moment to first of all just acknowledge everybody and thank everybody for mobilizing around this FDA presentation effort. It's cool and it's exciting, and I'm glad that we're all being like energized and we have something to rally around with this. We're going to get into all the details around that. We're actually going to dive in and do work, during the meeting. But let's start, like we'd like to, with the acknowledgements. And I hope that James is going to join us later in the meeting so we can do some special acknowledgements for James. I think that everybody has heard that James is unfortunately going to have to step back from the project because of some things he has to deal with. So he's going to, this week is the end. So this is kind of like a bang for him. Who got to hear his presentation to the FDA today? Did you guys get to tune in? Nobody? Okay, so we'll listen to it in the meeting when James is on as well. So that's really great. Let me make a quick note to make sure we do that. Okay, great. So let's start with our acknowledgements because we've got lots of meeting to jump into. So let me go ahead and have Cassidy start.
Hey everyone. This week I really wanted to just acknowledge everybody. I've sort of taken a step back to the big project that you're all working on, but I see all of the messages in the chat and I can tell how hard everybody is working. So yeah, I just want to give it up for the whole team for coming together and really putting in some good work. It's awesome to see. And I will hand it off to Mariana.
All right. Hello, everyone. So this week I want to acknowledge, as Cassidy said, the whole group, because everybody's been like working a lot to get all the FDA work done. And I want to acknowledge the outreach team and the recruitment team also. That are the teams that I am. And yeah, that's it. And I'll pass it to Johnny.
Good evening, everybody. I want to make notice of everyone for doing their part and into the FDA, and because there's so much we have to do, and I see the script is coming together. I see the presentation. We're getting everything done piece by piece, and I like the effort. Thank you, everybody. And I'm going to give it to let's see who's not Maria.
Yeah, hi everyone. So this week I want to acknowledge the whole groups, like all of you, because we are working really hard for this FDA presentation. And also like Mariana we have been working on the outreach part. So yeah, and I want to pass it to, I don't know which one you have done, like maybe Cassidy, how you do it? Yeah, and Tatiana.
I acknowledge the whole team for putting in such amazing work into doing this FDA presentation. I took a step back, kind of like Cassidy did, but I see everything that you guys are doing and it's coming together really nicely. And then I will pass it on to Renasia.
Okay, great. Yeah, I would just like to acknowledge everybody, like you said, Tatiana. Everybody's doing a really good job. And yeah, it's really coming together. It looks nice. Everything looks good. I'll pass it on to Katie.
All right. I would like to, again, acknowledge everybody. Everybody's been working really hard and it's going to turn out great. But I'd also like to specifically acknowledge Sabah. I know she's not here, but she's very helpful with the script writing. So thank you, Sabah. And thank you, Alexis, for helping co-lead the slide presentation as well. So I will then pass it off to Isatu.
Hi, I would like to acknowledge Cassidy and Tatiana for helping me out. With the HubSpot, it took me a couple of days to actually understand what they were telling me. So thank you so much for being patient. And I will pass it on to Alexis. Did she go yet?
Alexis, are you able to go now? We don't want to interrupt your driving. Oh, we have a second Alexis. This is awesome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. And we see you in your dual logging in. That's
yeah,
great.
I have two logins.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
I don't know.
That was pretty cool for a while.
I hope I'm not interrupting anybody talking. I don't know what's going on. Was somebody talking or did you call on me? I'm sorry.
No, it's your turn to do the acknowledgements if you're ready.
I'll acknowledge everybody in the group. I saw that everything was coming together really well. And everybody's been working very hard to make sure everything is perfect for tomorrow's presentation. So and I would like to
It's almost like a song. Do. We kind of missed it. Can you do that again, Alexis? All right, I think we can pick for her.
I was saying I can't. Yeah, okay. You can pick for me.
No, if you're back, go for
it. I wouldn't go. Sabah, you can go, Sabah.
Hi.
Hey, Sabah.
Yeah, this week I'll acknowledge outreach team, Maria and Mariana. Yesterday itself we gave 4 hours for the Zoom class. Good job.
Yes. Is that everybody? Yeah, thank you for that. It's awesome. Did everybody get to go? Okay, cool. So I want to, like I said in the beginning, acknowledge everybody as well, like you guys have said. And I also want to, in particular, go ahead and acknowledge the people that stepped up into leadership, co-leadership roles in our project, and especially the people that haven't been in leadership roles like that before. So a lot of you did that, which is awesome. And I really appreciate that. And I'm excited that we're doing that. So Katie co-leading the presentation, Sabah co-leading, everybody putting in lots of time and energy. And then Katie, Sabah co-leading again, Katie and Alexis, Mariana and Maria, which is awesome. Thank you guys. Again, Mariana and Maria, Renasia, Maria, Mariana, Sabah, Maria, Katie, and Maria. So I think it's really amazing, that we've seen all these opportunities to say, hey, I'm going to be the one to make sure that this gets done. and all of you have jumped in so many ways to say yes. And it's really, really great. I'm going to, I guess I'll talk about this part now because we're like right in it, and I feel like we're in the energy of it. What have you guys thought about this whole experience around what we've been doing with the FDA presentation? I want to hear what you guys think about this whole thing. Not a time to be shy, everyone. Everyone's going to share, so go ahead, just dive right in.
All right, I'm gonna start.
Thank you, Mariana. Awesome.
I think it's a very exciting opportunity, and it's a big project. Like, it's something like really out there. So I think it's very exciting, and it's a great opportunity for all of us to be involved. So yeah, I'm very grateful for be working on that.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for saying that, Mariana. It's really, really great. I'm so glad that you feel that way. Who else would like to share about what this is being like for them, this specific experience?
I'll go just because I know I'm about to lose service again soon.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I would say just seeing, I didn't know it took like this much work, honestly, for it to be rolled out. But everybody's really been jumping in, like I don't know the word, but it's been different. Like I said, I didn't know it took this much for it to develop. So it's interesting seeing like everything come together like piece by piece and how it's developed. So it's been a learning experience for sure.
Yeah, I really appreciate you saying that, because that's been part of the intention, really, is that you guys get to see, like, if you want it, like, sure, anything can happen by just, whatever. But if you really want to have something quality with all the backing stuff and everything that we're doing, you see all the different dimensions and all the components and all of the hours and all the everything. So yeah, I think it's really important. And I am also grateful, like Mariana is saying, I know you guys are grateful for having the experience. I'm grateful to be able to give you the experience, and for us to be able to share this whole experience together. I'm actually going to say more, but I want to hear from a couple more of you first before we continue on. So who else would like to say something about it?
I can say something. First off, this is my first time having a huge event to the scale, to being able to help put together a really good presentation, because it's a huge crowd that we're going to be showing our work to. And I would say this is like one of the first and most likely biggest thing I've ever done in a very long while.
It's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Johnny. That's really, really great. And I really appreciate that it's having that kind of impact for you too. That's really awesome. Let's have one more person share who would like to share.
I just think we're putting together a lot of good information, and they're gonna like it. That's honestly what I think, honestly.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Renasia. Thank you for saying that. I think it's really great. Let me tell you the way that I've been seeing all of this come together and unfold and what we're doing. I'm gonna bring up the document so we can kind of go along with the document too. Is that as we are kind of crossing each one of these off one by one, so we composed the application. Great, we did that before. Now we're wrapping up composing the presentations. The slides have been coming along, which is awesome. I can't wait to see the progress now since this afternoon, and delivering the presentations. James has already delivered. Katie's going to be joining me, which is awesome. media attention. We're going to talk about that and where we're going, where we're at, where we're going with that, and then engaging the experts. We're also going to talk about that and all of that. But again, with all of these different components working together, we're really, as you guys are saying, you're all getting the education of like what it takes to do all of this. I've kind of been feeling like we're just learning, like we just like we're all learning our roles for the first time in like this whole machine. And then, but we didn't really get any chance to like, you know, really have advance notice, right? And we're not getting to really maybe do as much with the media as we'd like, or do as much with the experts as we'd like, because it's just been all crammed and we haven't been able to do any, you know, all that we'd love to. So I actually checked and saw, and I don't know if you guys already know this, but on October 26th, which is a week from Tuesday, the FDA is going to be having its advisory committee meeting for children receiving the vaccine from 5 to 11 from the Pfizer vaccine. So if we would like, we actually can apply next week and run it back and go ahead and now have a week and a half to take all that we've learned in the last couple of days. And instead of having a couple of days to execute it, we can have a week and a half to execute it. And really, you know, it seems like now maybe this was just kind of like the training exercise to get us all in gear and get ready to run, right? But I want to see what you guys think, because you guys remember a week ago, I was like, it's too short and we don't have time and we can't, so we'll just skip this one. And you guys are like, no, we don't want to skip this. So I want to see, okay, now that you guys got like the reality check of what it is that you're asking for, you guys ready to run it back and really knock this thing out? Or what are you guys up for? What do you guys think about that? Let me give you the actual logistics. We would have to apply by Tuesday. So by Tuesday, this coming Tuesday is when we would apply to do an oral presentation again. And then they would let us know by, I think by the next day or 2 days later at the latest. But again, then we're looking at knowing by Wednesday or Thursday of next week, and then we're preparing for a Tuesday presentation. Although I think if we decide that we want to apply at this point, we would just go ahead and start producing everything, assuming that we're going to do the presentation. Because this is the thing, is that there's all the pieces like of the interviews with the experts and the panels with the experts and all of that, that we didn't have time to execute this time, but we would have time to execute for that time. So that's where, you know, again, to me, it seems like this is the way to go, but you guys tell me, like, is this, you know, getting you primed so you're ready to now like really go? Or is this like, okay, saw that, not necessarily again, let's do something else? You guys tell me. Where are my champions? I'm looking for champions. Who here is ready to train to be a champion? Who here is ready to go out and run a big race and say, yeah, that was killer, let's go run another? You know, who's ready to do that? You guys have to choose, because you're the one showing up to do this. So you have to say, you know, is this what you signed up for? Is this what you want to be doing? Do you want to be, you know, blowing the doors off the world? Or like, is it beyond what you're up for? You guys got to tell me. I got to get the feedback. So we're going to actually go one by one so we can hear from everybody. So let's start with Johnny. Johnny, you go first and then you throw it, and then we're going to, oh, by the way, who's taking the minutes? We didn't do that tonight. I'm sorry for not getting into that. Do we have somebody on minutes already?
I'll do it.
Okay, great, Renasia. Thank you so much. So Renasia, as everyone is sharing, you know, where they stand on this, can you write it down so we can take like a little informal poll here? So I think let's go ahead and let's say what we want to say as a comment, but then let's do a thumbs up, like we want to be a part. We want to create a presentation, an oral presentation. And actually, to tell you the truth, let me tell you what I was thinking about it, so you guys can think about it this way too. Is I was thinking that, you know, just like James picked a topic and developed it and applied separately, I was thinking that several of you might want to do that for the next one, especially like Sabah. I know you have an interest in, you know, children's health. And I thought that this would be, you know, the thing that you would love to give a presentation at. So I thought, Sabah, you might be somebody that, you know, would want to go ahead and apply separately. And I'm not sure which others of you, you know, would want to take that opportunity, but of course it'd be amazing to have your own presentation. And we would do this whole, you know, support thing for everybody that's having, you know, a presentation that day, who's ever having one. So with that said, let's go around. Let me hear what you guys think. And then we'll do comments first. Everyone will do their comments so everybody can hear all the comments. And then at the end, once we've heard all the comments, we'll go 1, 2, 3, and we'll go up or we'll go down, and then we'll see what everyone's vote is. How does that sound? Sound cool? Okay, good. Okay, so Johnny, you go first. And we're not going to spend a lot of time on this because we need to spend time on what we're into today for tomorrow. So we're about to get into tomorrow's presentation, but let's at least see if we're going to keep going with this next week. Go ahead, Johnny.
Okay. For me, I would say it all depends on how anything could come up. Typically, I'm sort of busy with my 4 classes, but I do have enough time to implement information here and there. And it would always depend on how I wouldn't be able to do a presentation, as you mentioned earlier, but I would be able to support anybody.
Yeah, that's great. And of course, it's not required that anybody does a presentation. It's just an opportunity. But the thing is also that people should know, as you were just kind of mentioning, is that we're not talking about, you know, adding more hours to your week than you've already got committed to the project. We're talking about just allocating the hours that you've already got allocated to the project, you know, to what we're doing. Of course, it still would, you know, be pushing off some of the other things that we had on our plate that it took priority of. But yeah, I just want to make all of that clear. So that's great. Thank you, Johnny, for mentioning that you'd be up for supporting the project. That's really, really great. Mariana, how about you, your thoughts?
All right. So I think it's a nice opportunity, like again, for us to, you know, do another presentation. Like Johnny said, I'm just like scared because next week I have my midterms week and I have like 2 essays, 4 exams. So I'm just scared like of how much time, how many hours I can put to help. But of course, like Johnny said, like I'm gonna be like supporting everyone and helping like in the best way that I can. But that's my only concern like for next week. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really great. And thank you for mentioning that, because we do want everyone to consider that. So that's really, really important. So let me go ahead and, while we're talking about it, bring up our hours for the week. Because what I want all of you to do right now while we're talking is to go ahead and put in your hours for next week too. It just so happens that I happened to have done that tab the other day, so that was handy. So go ahead and put your hours for next week. So that way, right, after everyone's comments before we vote, what we can do is we can look to see how many hours we have available from the whole team for the whole week. And then that can help us decide if we've got enough hours there to, you know, to be able to do it. So here in the chat is the link to our team hours. So just go ahead and put your hours for next week in there now, if you would please. And with that, let me send it to Cassidy and get your feedback and input, Cassidy.
Yeah, I would be really interested in it, more so just because I didn't really get a chance to contribute this time because I was catching up from being out. So I would be really interested in helping out and jumping into the water this time. Yeah, so those are my thoughts.
Awesome.
Really
awesome. Awesome. Great. Thank you for saying that. That's really cool. I'm excited that you're excited about that. Isa too, how about you?
Same thing. I do have a couple assignments and exams next week, but I don't mind helping out. So yeah.
Great. Awesome. Thank you, Isa too. That's really, really great. How about you, Maria?
Yeah, so same as everyone, like next week I have my midterm, so I have like more assignments. It's basically like double the assignments of this week. But yeah, I'm really like enthusiastic about helping in like whatever way that I can. So yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Maria. That's really cool. I appreciate that. And how about you, Alexis?
Hi. I'm the same as everybody, midterm week, so I wouldn't want to overdo it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it is a great opportunity, and I can support anybody that's doing it, but I wouldn't be able to primarily focus as we've been focusing this week.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Very good. Thank you for mentioning that. Are you, Alexis, have you stopped where you can put your hours in, or do you want to have somebody else do that for you?
If somebody else can do it for me, I would really, really appreciate it.
Okay, great. So what's your expected hours for the week next week?
I'll do the same as I'll just do keep doing the 12 hours, 6 and 6.
Okay, great.
With a minimum of 10.
Okay, thanks, Maria. You want to continue with that, Maria? That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then 6 and 6 for research and production. Great. Okay, cool. So we'll let that continue while we keep going. Thank you, Alexis. How about you, Sabah?
I think it's an interesting topic and we should all go ahead with this. I'm ready to give my 6 hours for the research team for next week.
Mhm.
I also have my capstone project starting next week, but I'll give my written hours for the project.
Awesome. That's really great. Are you interested, Sabah, in actually, leading your own presentation in front of the FDA, applying separately for a separate presentation?
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. That's great. I'm excited to hear that. Cool. Okay, great. And Katie, how about you?
Yeah, well, especially considering that I'm taking the research team lead next week, I'd certainly definitely be willing to support, but taking a lead probably wouldn't be the best idea. So yeah.
I hear what you're saying. Okay, great. Perfect. Awesome. And how about you, Renasia?
With me, I don't want to overwhelm myself. I want to, that's the only thing. I just don't want to overwhelm myself and then not really give it my all. That's the only thing.
Yeah, totally understand that. And thank you for saying that. So are you in a place where you're able to put your hours in so we can see, we can add all the hours up?
Yeah, I'm about to put them in now. Give me a second.
Okay, perfect. Okay, great. And hey, James, I know you're not going to be putting in the hours. Welcome here. Great to have you here.
Hello, thank you.
Yeah. We're going to, we delayed giving you the acknowledgement since you weren't here during the acknowledgement time. So we're going to go ahead and do that in a little bit. And we're also going to watch your video because most people didn't get to watch the video yet from today. So we're going to watch that and talk a little bit. So before, just since I'm saying your name, let me go ahead and give you some claps and let everyone give you some claps for the presentation today. Congratulations. Thank you. Awesome that you got to do that. And great job. Sounded really great.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course. So let me do it also before I forget. I know some of you joined after we did the agreement before. I think Maria, Sabah, James, if there's anybody else that didn't get to agree, that we could possibly, this video actually will be made public. So can we get a thumbs up or a verbal agreement that we can make this video public? Thank you, Maria.
Yep, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you, James and Sabah. Awesome. Okay, great. So, so we've heard everybody's thoughts and comments. There's a lot of consistency there. So now let's go ahead and look at the hours and see what we're looking at in terms of hours available to us next week. So, let's total the expected hours just so we can see what the total hours for the week looks like compared to this week. Okay, so we don't have from James, which is appropriate. And Tatiana had to run because of the fire alarm, huh? Okay, so we'll just maybe assume that Tatiana is going to be the same or similar. So we have 89 this week and then, or next week projected so far. And then $120 this week. Okay, so we're looking at, okay, so approximately a third less, quarter less, but 3/4 for next week. So okay, so if we look at it to think about the fact that essentially we have 3/4 the people power next week that we had this week, and that we, crammed almost all of this stuff into a couple days, and that next week we have less hours spread out over a longer time. And then also that, again, the presentation itself isn't until the Tuesday. So we're doing a lot of like the legwork with whatever. Well, okay, so we've got the context, about 3/4 of the hours available spread out over time. So everybody's got, if you're not, let's see, you guys have the thing. So, oh, there's a green check mark and a red X. So those are the two options that are easy for everybody. So everybody see that, for those of you that aren't on video. When you look at the icon, the reactions, you've got the green check mark and the red X. So either you'll put your thumb up, your thumb down, or you'll do a green check mark, or you'll do a red X. Sound good? Everybody got it? So on 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so Alexis down. Okay, so now we've got to take the totals. So Renasia, can you get the totals? Are you able to see? So down for Cassidy, up for Jared, up for Mariana, up for Johnny. Isa2's went away. Maria, yes. Isa2, yes. Alexis, yes. Sabah, yes. Katie, no. Renasia, yes. Okay, so it looks like there's more yeses, right? How many no's were there total? 3? Something like that?
No, at the end, everybody except for Katie put yes, if I'm not mistaken. They all went away so quick.
Cassidy was a no also. So it was
You were no? Okay, so
just 2?
And Isa2? Isa2, did you say no or she said yes?
Isa2 said yes. Okay, got it.
Okay, so 2 no's. Okay.
Okay, no, Isa2 is a yes. The only 2 no's were Cassidy and Katie. So
got you.
Okay, so that's that's fine. And again, you guys, Cassidy and Katie, I think you both said you'd support anyways, but you can you can choose to opt out of anything that we're doing at the time. I think that we've got enough people to do what we want to do, especially having laid the foundation this week. So I will we'll go ahead and we'll go forward with it. And I want to honor you guys, appreciate you guys. Let me give you guys some claps for being up for the challenge, the game, the opportunity. It's energized me to see what we're doing and how we're activated and the ways that we can use this to really make a difference, get in front of a big audience and make a really big difference, which is really great. So, okay, great. With that said, let's go ahead and continue. The agenda, we should probably pull it up. Wait, real quick. We're going to do the agenda on the fly because I've been so absorbed that I didn't even think about an agenda for tonight. But let's get it here so we can work with it. Somebody duplicated already? Thank you, whoever did that. So we're not going to do any of the team reports tonight. Tonight, we're just going to continue with what we're doing with the project and talk about those things. Okay, so we voted. Okay, great. So the other thing that I'm going to share very quickly, let's go ahead and let's do this. Hold on one moment. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to listen to James and watch James's presentation now, and then we're going to acknowledge James, and then we're going to talk briefly and then dive in. Sound good? Okay, great. James, do you want to bring it up, or do you want me to bring up the video and play it?
If you could, and I'm on the road.
Okay. Yes, I can do it much better than you on the road. No worries. I just happen to have it right here. How convenient is that? I forgot it was 5 minutes.
Hi, my name is Cdrh. I have no. Hi, my name is Cdrh. I have no financial relationships to disclose. I'm pursuing my master's at. Okay, I'm pursuing my master's in economics at Florida International University, and I'm currently in the midst of an internship with the Vaccine Considerations Project. While the Vaccine Considerations Project has encouraged and supported me in applying for and preparing for this presentation opportunity, all of the assessments and recommendations I'll be sharing are my own and may be different from the neutral stance of the Vaccine Considerations Project. All the peer-reviewed research papers and other reference materials that I used to create this presentation are available live on vaccineconsiderations.com right now. If you have the ability, I encourage you to follow along on vaccineconsiderations.com right now. Next slide, please. My intention is to open a discussion that will address the need to increase trust in new vaccines. States across the country are encountering hesitancy and resistance to getting vaccinated among their populace. The overall success of new vaccines will rely on more than the public fully accepting these vaccines into their everyday lives. It is critical that the FDA and these new vaccine producers create communication guidelines in order to identify, clarify, and explain potential risks. Here are a few of the suggestions from the 2019 Cdrh communication guide. 1. Further expand the reach of communication. 2. Clarify the FDA's role. 3. Constant outreach and accurate information to promote understanding, trust, and adaptation. I encourage a full mechanism to be developed moving forward. Focusing on increasing trust and credibility through mechanisms and systems that produce consistent and scientifically accurate information regarding the vaccine will reduce uncertainty regarding the vaccine. This will hold long-term implications as people learn to trust the information they consume through these systems. Next slide, please. Even before the pandemic, it was common for patients to seek information about health conditions and treatment options from health-related sites and sources of information on the internet. As the pandemic began to spread, individuals once again turned to the internet for information. According to many experts, including Dr. Acknowledgements, the effect of the lagging responses by government and public health agencies to prioritize the dissemination of information about the coronavirus outbreak drove many back to the sources they were familiar with. The vacuum in the supply of information regarding COVID-19 was then filled by popular media producers on social network platforms, news platforms, websites, and blogs with unsubstantiated, incorrect data or misinformation. To understand consumer perspectives, recent studies have employed an infodemiology approach or method, which is designed to measure and track health information demand and supply by analyzing search queries or social network communication. Other studies have focused directly on patient education and intervention or internet technology application. The overarching conclusion in these studies is the individual is becoming a savvy patient consumer. A savvy consumer is a consumer who is media literate, knowledgeable about marketing and targeting, as well as cynical about advertising and can see through the traditional sales pitch. Next slide, please. In trying times, some have come to expect extreme solutions as the only methods for progress. However, I do not believe we're at such a point. This committee and others like it are charged with putting the patient consumer first above all else. I implore you to continue to do so by making it a priority to build trust and credibility parallel to addressing efficacy and safety concerns. Increasing levels of trust and credibility should become an iterative process at every level through business development, regulatory approval, and finally communications with the patient consumer. This is why I encourage the committee to continue these events and increase its focus on the mechanisms and systems most efficient at taking on the tremendous task of organizing consistent and scientifically accurate information regarding the vaccine. Taking these steps now could prevent future hesitancy with new medical technology as patient consumers begin to trust these reputable sources. Next slide, please. As a reminder, all the peer-reviewed research papers and other reference material that I used to create this presentation are available live on vaccineconsiderations.com right now. I encourage you to dig deeper. Thank you to the committee, and thank you all for your time.
Awesome. Way to go, James. Great job. Yeah, I'm excited about the way it all came together. I think you presented really well, so it was really great. Awesome. Yes, Katie, very impressive, absolutely. Great. So, let me start the acknowledgements for James by saying, from the first time, James, that I interviewed you about coming on and you're talking about systems and we're really like vibing on the whole systems thing, and you're telling me how you're an economist, but really more of like a scientist and a social scientist, and really figuring out systems and how all those things work and all that sort of stuff. And I was like, this guy is going to really have some stuff that we can do, and I was really very excited from the beginning. And I have to say that, along the way, you've been backing it up. You've been bringing the systems thinking, you've been bringing the ideas, you've been bringing the work, just like working on the Slack and all the things that you've been, spending time on to help us really get more systematized, and to really bring the concepts that have been theoretical in my head, have been theoretical in your head, and where you've seen it, and really put them into practice in ways that we could really make a difference. So I want to, I know that you're having to end your time with the project at this point, for now at least, sooner than you expected, than we expected, and rather suddenly. And I know it's disappointing to you and to all of us. I want to just say that, we're not only are we going to miss you, but we're going to really honor and appreciate all that you've brought to the project, not just for this group, but for all of time. That your influence and your input and your energy is now embedded within Uniting for Action and will continue to grow and expand going forward. So I just want to, take this moment to thank you, honor you, appreciate you for all the ways you've stepped up to be a co-leader of the business team, that you were about to, trial lead the research team, and stepping forward to do a presentation, and just all the ways you've been really interested in embracing all the opportunities that are available through the project and really grabbing them and making something of them. So I really want to just honor you and appreciate you for that, and just thank you for, you know, your gusto and your verve and your interest in just really bringing all that you have to bring and the best that you are to this project and to the world. And we really thank you for all of that, James. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jared. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. And I hope I've added more to the organization, to the group, than to this organization. You know,
yeah, of course, by a mile. Oh yeah, no question about that.
Awesome. Thank you. Again, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's been really great. Yeah. Who else would like to share something about their time and experience with James?
I guess I can go. I worked with James a little bit in the research team, and yeah, your way of thinking is so unique, and I was so excited to see what you would bring to the table each time, and never disappointed. So thank you, James.
That's a great way of putting it.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's really great. It's a great way of putting it, Katie. Thanks for saying that. I'm sure Tatiana would want to say something, James. I'm sorry she had to go with the fire alarm. That's quite unfortunate. I'm sure she'd really express her appreciation of working with you on the business team and the ways you guys have worked together and the ways you've supported and brought a lot of great things to the business team in a very short amount of time. It's been really awesome. So thank you on Tatiana's behalf as well. Anyone else that would like to say anything and share with James? Okay,
I would like to say something very quick.
Awesome.
I wanted to tell James thank you for his input for the system rating. I had the opportunity to get his insight, and his insight has allowed me to further expand my ideas and help me out into thinking about better ways to improve my the rating system. I would like to thank him again. Thank you, James.
Awesome.
Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. It's been great working with you guys so far. You know, awesome. Thank you again.
Cool. Awesome, James. Thank you so much. So so let's continue. I think now, let me check something real quick. Okay, I'm going to, so let me give you guys a context. So at 7, pretty close to 7, what we're going to do is we're going to start a meeting devoted to the slides, and we're going to start working on finalizing the slides as much as we can from the current presentation. And we're also going to be doing a little work on the presentation as well. So I know, of course, most of you guys have blocked until 7:30 normally for the meeting. Everybody who can stay on, that would be great, because we're just going to work together. Those of you that aren't, jumping in on the project, Cassidy, Isa2, you guys can, step out. But everybody else who's, on our sheet for putting some hours into the FDA presentation, if you can stay on, that'll be great. Let me just say a couple of things really quickly, and then we'll kind of get into more of the presentation. I just want to share this insight that I've had. I shared it with some of you. I'm going to try to say it as quickly as I can. I've shared it in a couple meetings already, but I had an aha moment during this whole FDA process, because I've been trying to figure out, what I can say, what I can't say, when I'm being an advocate, when I'm being neutral, all those sorts of things. And what it's come to make me realize is it's made me realize that so much of our society, people's voices and expressions are being suppressed because especially in almost like the whole, professional world, corporate world, whatever, obviously people can't say everything they feel all the time because, they risk their job and all of that. So there's a very like tight lid in that whole world, right? About like how people can express themselves. And we also, to a certain degree as a team, we've been having to kind of be under that, because in this realm of being neutral, we might have feelings, but our project is neutral, so we can't really say what our feelings are, type of thing. We have to be neutral about. I've kind of realized, because I've been in this tug of war that some of you have been seeing, I've kind of realized that the idea of trying to be neutral by all of us suppressing our voices is not like the ultimate evolved state. The ultimate evolved state is for all of us to be free with our voice and have full self-expression and always be bringing all of our full energy, rather than being pushed down and quieted and silenced in whatever aspects of our lives. So I think if you guys are in alignment, and we'll talk more next week and when we have more time, but if you guys are in alignment, I want to start to take the position from the corporate standpoint, from the business standpoint. We still maintain our neutrality as we have. But what we are doing is we're creating a model, and we're fostering an environment where we're encouraging everyone on our team, everyone who works with us, to use their full voice all the time whenever they want, and to not have to silence any kinds of self-expression or feelings or interests or anything like that, like within our team or our team meetings or interacting with each other, that within this organization, we're creating a safe space for everyone to express themselves and welcoming anybody with any ideas about anything to come in and join us, because all of us can join together to work together to create a neutral platform that serves all issues, just as well. And this, I think, can be a great model and a great example with lots of different people, lots of different ideas, choosing to come together and working together to create something for the good of all. And we can be neutral by being fully expressed, all of us, rather than being neutral by being fully repressed, all of us. So how does that sound to you guys? Yeah, James, you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, it's really liberating to hear that, and just I commend you for taking that approach. You see a lot of organizations taking on this, I mean, for lack of better words, this dictator approach where it all comes from the top down. And again, I commend you for such a egalitarian approach to the way you run the group and the project. And it's not easy, right? We see this throughout the whole process from start to finish, asking everybody's input and just, running all the groups, all the tasks, from the simplest admin issue we have to deal with to this complex FDA presentation, and it shows, and ultimately is a model for the type of society we want to live in. So, kudos for the social project we're also running on the side here.
I appreciate that. Thank you for that insight and for saying those things, James. That's cool. I appreciate that insight. Awesome. Cool. Who else would like to say something? I feel like this is a seminal moment for our organization, so I'd love to hear a couple people what you have to say. Just a quick comment. So does it feel good to you guys? Does this feel like a good positive direction? I think we still, can talk about it before maybe making an ultimate decision, but let's do a quick vote, a quick poll, since we're getting close to the end of this meeting here, so that we can see how everybody feels about this. And certainly if anybody has any concerns that maybe you just don't want to share publicly now, definitely send me a private message, if there are any concerns that people have about ways it can be. The organization, like I said, will continue to remain neutral, but we'll keep having these disclaimers like James had in his video that you just saw, where, you know, even when I speak tomorrow, the disclaimer will be there. You know, whatever I say is my personal view and not necessarily the view of our neutral, you know, stance organization. So is everybody cool with that? Is everybody good with that? Let's do a quick poll just in case there's any concerns. So let's thumbs up for everybody, or a no, or a concern. If there's any concerns out there, I'm seeing lots of thumbs and yeses. Great, ISA2 even with a heart. Okay, great. I didn't see from Alexis and Tatiana. Can you guys do something just so I can see as well from you guys if you did or not?
Sorry, it's a thumbs up for me too.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Alexis. That's awesome. Tatiana, great to have you back.
Can I get a little brief of what you're talking about? Because I just joined back and then
Oh, you
they're like
didn't get-
thumbs up
okay.
and I don't know what's happening.
You don't need to reply. It's fine. We'll catch you up later. That's totally cool. Okay, great. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate, you know, where everyone is coming from with that. And I'm excited to see where we can go with it and what we can do with it. So that's really great. I think that covers everything, you know, that there was to cover in our meeting today that I had on the agenda. So that's going to give us time to roll right into this. It's going to be a little bit of a slide / presentation because we're going to be working on both and see if we can finish up both. And we'll talk a little bit about the other things on our plate for those that can stay on. Is other than ISA2 and Cassidy, who I assume you guys will be dropping off, although of course you can stay if you want. Oh, and Tatiana as well. Is there anybody else and James might be dropping off. Is there anybody else that needs to go, or are we going to have the rest of the group with us here?
I have to leave early this time. I'll be back. I have to go for dinner.
Okay, cool. What do you have an idea, Johnny, around what time you'll be back again?
Maybe 30 minutes, most likely. I won't be gone for long.
Okay, that's cool. We'll still, at least some of us will still be on at that point. So, okay, that's great. Okay, cool. So if anybody needs to take a quick break, go ahead and take a quick break. We'll go ahead and yeah, we'll just keep rolling with it for now and see what we can get into and how quickly we can get into everything. Let me stop the recording so we can stop and start a new one. See you if you're leaving.
Okay, I'm taking off. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, James.
Have a good one.
Yeah, thank you, James. Thank you, Cassidy. Those of you that are leaving.